department chair. On behalf of our department, I'm very happy to welcome you to our second annual Krish Kohli Visiting Artist Concert. Last year, in the first year of this program, we hosted the jazz singer, Alina Moses, who you might remember. This year, we are very fortunate to welcome our visiting artist, Joe Alterman. Joe Alterman is a jazz pianist from Atlanta with 9 albums and countless performances to his name. Joe Alterman holds both bachelor's and master's degrees in jazz piano from NYU and has since performed at many world-renowned venues, including the Kennedy Center, Lincoln Center, Birdland, and Blue Note, alongside other prominent jazz musicians as well as his own trio. Over the last 2 school days, Joe worked with all 3 divisions of our music students, focusing particularly on upper school chamber ensembles. Joe, thank you tonight for sharing your time, talent, and experiences with our students. It's been a gift. Tonight we are grateful to hear your music alongside your trio musicians, Nathaniel Schroeder on the bass and Matt Wilson on the drums. Thank you, Joe, Daniel, and Matt. A few more thank yous before we begin. To the Kohli family for their generous support and vision, to Dr. Loy, to Susan Gantz, and the advancement team in making this happen, to principals and my colleagues in the music department for their flexibility and collaboration, and to the maintenance department for all of their work in preparing this event, and finally, to all of you coming tonight to share this wonderful evening of music. Without further ado, please help me welcome the Joe Alterman Trio.
How are y'all doing?
Great.
All right. It's been such a special treat to spend time with y'all community these past few years. Thank you for having me. I grew up in Atlanta, and wish I had come to a place like this. And y'all are really lucky. And we're gonna have a good time tonight. This is Nathaniel Schroeder on the bass. This is Matt Wilson on the drums. And we'll begin with a song by the great trombonist Curtis Fuller. It's called Down Home. I felt too. But yes, I mentioned that was by the great trombonist Curtis Fuller. I really associated with the great drummer Roy Haynes, who was playing on that recording. And I think recently turned 90 years old. And he's still 98.
No, 99.
99. I'm sorry, it's a little off.
No, it's a year, but I mean 99, yeah, they're
Wow, which is really special to still have him with us. We've losing a lot of our legends these past few years. And I wanted to play this next song with one of them in mind. When I was younger, I grew up in Atlanta, took a few piano lessons, and when I was 4 or 5, immediately didn't really love it and wanted to quit. My parents wouldn't let me because, I already started, and it took the next few years of piano, not loving it and always getting in trouble for changing notes. And it wasn't until I was about 11 or 12, I heard a recording of the great pianist Oscar Peterson. I started to change a little bit, but it wasn't until I heard a recording of the great pianist Ahmad Jamal that I was really hooked. And it wasn't even a recording, it was really just like half a second of a recording. It's a song called Like Someone in Love. And there's a part of the melody that goes like this. But what he did was go, and that was the coolest thing I ever heard in my entire life. I played that over and over and over again. I heard that, I don't know where I would be today, but we lost him out about a year ago. We're lucky to have him for over 90 years as well. So I wanted to, I often arrange songs with, how do I wish Ahmad Jamal had played this in mind? And that's the next one. This is my take on Blue Moon. like going to New York. I saw a nice sunset, and I wrote a song about it. It's called Georgia's Sunset. I'll play that now. I only told the backstory because when I came out with an album called Georgia's Sunset, I did these interviews on the radio and stuff, and they'd say, Georgia's Sunset, so I guess your time in Georgia's coming to an end. Y'all are way too hip. Just about a nice sunset. So I hope you enjoy a little taste of Georgia. Yes. listen, we're having a ball up here, oh, we're having fun out there too. And, Nathaniel and I probably played with Nathaniel more than anyone else in my whole life. We did a lot of restaurant jobs together for many years. I think he could read my mind. I mentioned Oscar Peterson earlier. I thought it might be fun to play with his blues tunes that we have played together a lot. And I just wanted to share when I was in high school, I saw that Oscar Peterson was playing in New York at Bergen, and I begged my dad to go. We got there, and it was kind of my high school graduation gift. So we got tickets, but I was still so excited or nervous for the whole experience that I got there. I made my dad get there just 3 hours early, which was, I think, 2 hours before the doors opened. And we still had my seat, so it was okay. But anyway, it turned out to be Oscar Peterson's final performance ever. And we were basically sitting here. So if you're familiar with his playing, he kind of grunts along with himself when he's playing. And that's so that he makes sure that his fingers do the things that he's actually hearing in his head and his heart rather than just playing things that he knows his fingers can do. And at that point, I was sitting so close to him that I could hear that he was getting frustrated with himself because the things he was grunting, he wasn't always able to execute it well. But it made for really, really, really powerful ballads that night. And at the end of the night, I went up to the club owner who did not know at the time, he didn't know me or anything, and I said, "Mr. Peters is my hero. Is there any chance I could meet him?" He said, "Sure." Which was crazy because I was this idiot 16-year-old wearing shorts. So Mr. Peters, but he still took me back, and I was shaking. And through my shakes, I said, "Mr. Peterson, you're a hero. My dad and I flew up from Atlanta to see you." And I was shocked at what he said to me. He looked at me really sad, actually. He said, "I flew up for this." And it was just shocking that he was basically telling this idiot 16-year-old wearing shorts at this concert that he wasn't happy with his performance. And I was, the guy on the other end trying to say, "No, you were great," and in my head I'm thinking, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this to Oscar Peterson." But I'll remember walking out, I'll never forget that experience. Although it was sad to see him like that, it was really inspiring to be a young person and see, to me, Oscar Peterson is like one of the greatest ever, to see that he could be kind and real like that to wear his shorts at his concert, is just very impressionable. So with that in mind, I thought we could do we like to play Kelly Blues. It's a song Oscar wrote for his wife. And we have a funny little thing. See if we haven't done this in about 10 years together, but I bet we'll remember it. Let's see. Thank y'all so much. For Matt Wilson. We're having a good time. Thank you again. That was Oscar Peterson's Kelly's Blues. And I guess fast forward about 10 years after that experience with Oscar Peterson, I was living in New York City at the time, and I was playing my first big gig at the Blue Note in New York. And I remember walking on stage, and sitting basically in that chair was Ahmad Jamal. And once again, I was just like I was shaky in front of Oscar Peterson. I'm shaky in front of Ahmad Jamal, but I'm playing this time. I'm very nervous. I've never played in front of any of my heroes at this point. And I didn't really know how to approach the situation, which I realized midway through the set. My big takeaway from that evening was that I had to learn how to be ready for a situation like that, and to, rather than focusing on this person you want to like what you're doing, just play for everybody else, and hopefully he'll enjoy it. We had a good time, a nice experience, but I finally felt ready a few years later when I finally I opened for the great Les McCann. And I remember I was sound checking at the time he came in the club, and I was so excited to meet my hero. And he came up to the club, and he came up to the stage. He didn't say hello, so there was no greeting. All he said was, "Play me some blues, boy." I was real nervous once again. So, but I did my best, and after a minute, he said, "Amen." So I knew I was doing something okay. Then he said, "What's your name?" And I said, "Joe Alterman." He said, "Alterman? Are you a rabbi?" No. And he said, "Well, are you a Hebrew?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, from now on, you're my Hebrew." Beautiful friendship. We talked every day for the next 12 years. He passed away this last December, and he was just a great friend. I remember the last gig I had before he passed away. We were talking. This typical stuff like this would happen. We'd go on the phone. I said, "Les, I gotta go. I'm gonna make it to the gig on time. I gotta take a shower." And Les would say, "How are you gonna play funky if you take a shower?" So that explains it. But I love Les, and the past few years he's in the rehab center. He had no access to a piano, so whenever he'd hear a new melody, he'd call me, and he'd sing it to me. This next song was, Les was from Lexington, Kentucky. His big dream was to rewrite the state song. My old Kentucky folk, he was little rock. And so Les, he called me, he said, "I think I got it." So he sang me this melody, and he said, "Put your thing on it now." So I figured out the melody, I added a few notes, changed a few notes, added some chords. I was really proud of what we came up with, and I called him, I played it for him, and the first thing he said is, "This would definitely not be the next state song." He said, "But it's not meant to be, it's meant to be a beautiful ballad, so think of a title for it." So I thought of this voicemail machine before he went in the hospital. It was always, "This is Les, anytime you get to the phone, don't forget to love yourself." Don't forget to love yourself. And hope y'all enjoy it. Don't forget to love yourself. Yeah. when he beat this hospital the past few years. And it was really amazing to see the power music had on him. There was times he'd call me and say, Joe, I haven't been able to eat in the last 2 days, and it sounds terrible. I'd say, let's eat something. He'd say, no, play him a ballad. And I'd play him a ballad, and by the end of the song, he sounded like a different person. It was just amazing. He said that to him, music had nutritional value. That's what he said. Yes. But Les would always call me before every gig. He would say one thing. He'd say, play something funky and think of me. So this is that. And what's fun about this song is it's an old song, but it's recently like made a little bit of a comeback with Willy Wonka being re-released. So it's fun to play an old song that a year ago many people had no idea what we were playing. Now all the kids love this song. So it's fun to play something for the kids. So I hope y'all enjoy Pure Imagination. pure imagination, Willy Wonka, and then we have time for a few more. And I wanted to continue now with something totally different. This is, well, from pure imagination. This is one of my favorite songs to play. This is Time After Time, not the Cindy Lauper. It's time after time. Oh, it's I thought my phone was ringing.
I don't know what that was. It the pedal of the piano? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, there was some kind of mechanism.
Well,
No, I don't think it's here.
Oh, that was funny.
yeah.
That was it. I mean,
Really? No?
Haven't heard.
I heard a squeak.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, maybe that's it. Oh, maybe it's.
We planned this. This is entertainment. This is yeah. All right. I know your eyes were closed during the solo, but I wish you could have seen our faces.
Oh.
Matt Wilson, what
Thank
do
you
you
so
say?
much.
Well, I thought I'd play one more solo piece, if that's all right. And this is a favorite tune of mine called Make Me Look. I'll come in if you want. If you like, I'll it's been such a treat playing for you tonight. Really, thank you so much for tonight, for having us. This has been a really wonderful experience with y'all here. Hope to keep it going. Really, y'all are a fantastic community. I just wanted to share. I hope that to me, growing up, jazz was always the music when we'd have like a barbecue or something. My dad would put it on, and everything just felt better when he put the music on. I didn't really grow up hearing jazz in a concert hall setting like most of my peers. And I feel like I feel lucky for that because I just grew up hearing it, and every time I heard it, it made whatever situation we were in more elevated. So I just hope that we made you smile too, because I smiled. So this has been a true joy, and I just wanted to close with a song of mine that I wrote in April 2019. And for the next year, or almost year, I spent every gig playing it and making a stupid joke about how I couldn't come up with a title. And then it wasn't until April 2020 that when all of our gigs were canceled, and I had more time than ever to be at the piano, but I had nothing to prepare for. So I asked myself the question, what do you want to play? And I was trying to find some good in all the bad, and that's when the title finally came to me, and it's the upside of down. And I feel like that's, to me, that's what jazz is all about. It makes good, bad times not as bad, and good times even better. So once again, I'm Daniel Schroeder on the bass. And Matt Wilson on the drums. And both of them live in the Northeast area, so I hope you all will go and listen to them wherever they're playing. They both have wonderful groups and are a treat to obviously to play with, but also to listen to. And so here we go. Here's the upside of down.
with such richness and promise for its future. Thank you so much, Joe, for these 2 beautiful music-filled days and for this generous and meaningful performance. Thank you, Matt and Danielle, for being with us today and sharing your music too. You had once said in a TED Talk, Joe, and I'm going to paraphrase this a bit, that music for you is like a new feeling being washed over your body every second or every moment. And that's how it was for us this evening. I felt very much that you had us awash in the beauty of music, and it really was. The Krish Kohli music series, as you all know, was established last year in remembrance of our son Krish and to honor his love for music. This love is nurtured here at Rutgers Prep. Music at Rutgers Prep is very much a means to dignify and enrich the worth of each student. And we must thank you, Dr. Lloyd, for tethering this series to this vision, and for your very, very active and personal involvement in it, which is very deeply appreciated. Thank you for helping us give back. We'd also like to thank Lisa Pearson, she's not here with us this evening, but she's very much part of the music department, Lysandra, Stevenson, and the music department for your commitment towards this initiative. A very, very special thanks to Susan for her creative contribution and continued sensitivity towards the series and its purpose. We also want to invite Tom, who is here today. You knew Krish well and played a founding role in establishing the series. We are very touched by your continued interest in the series as it builds year on year. We will hope to see you here for you. Some of Krish's friends are also in the audience. I see them here, I see them there. To you, please know that your presence is weight and meaning to this evening. And now, to the students here, we hope that this 2-day immersion will deepen your experience of music. Joe, you have spoken to high school students about exactly this, about going past distraction, really listening to music and experiencing it as something special. For Krish, music was that. It was special. And he experienced it with vividness and immediacy. Not just as an art form, but as an empathetic communication with everyone and everything he encountered. His understanding of music and the way he lived music was cultivated here at Rutgers Prep. And it is thus a matter of the deepest satisfaction for us as his parents to play a small part in passing that forward to you. Thank you all.
Susan, thank you for organizing this, and Sandra and Colin. It takes a lot of people to put this together, and I really appreciate your time and your focus and your energy. Nathaniel, you're awesome. You're awesome. And Matt, did Charlie Watts learn from you? You're so cool and collected in the middle of all this chaos. I felt like I was up front in the Stones concert and just watching Charlie. It was amazing.
I have triplet sons, so I'm in the middle of the call.
Oh, you don't show.
4 kids.
Joe, it's been a great 2 days. The kids had such a terrific time. And you have to write a book. I mean, the stories over lunch that you told me about Les McCann and Paul McCartney, and I mean, all of these people that you have met, and even if it was untrue. Put it in the fiction section. It's a great book. It really is. And thank you. I mean, your approach has been so genuine and authentic. There's a Dylan line, a Bob Dylan, not a Dylan Thomas. Not a Sidney Walker line. There's a Bob Dylan line. Some people feel the rain and others just get wet. You help us feel. It's magical, and it really is so appreciated. What a terrific night. Thank you all for being part of it. Nathaniel, Joe.